It is now being reported that scientists in China have been experimenting with a mutant COVID strain that in its first tests have had a 100% mortality rate in humanized mice. Why? According to their preprint results here, the virus known as GXP2V was discovered in pangolins. Never thought they'd be the ops in 2024. They then cloned the virus and infected 8 humanized mice. And humanized meaning they were engineered to express a protein found in people, with the goal being to assess how it might react in humans. And to put it bluntly, it didn't react well, because all 8 mice died within 8 days, with the researchers describing it as surprisingly quick. And because I've watched far too many movies, I can't read the next part without thinking of one thing. The researchers were surprised to find high levels of viral load in the mice's brains, and their eyes turned completely white days before they died. Anyone watch Happiness? Experts have since shared their thoughts, with an infectious disease expert based in University College London saying it's a terrible study, scientifically totally pointless, and a retired professor of medicine at Stanford saying this madness must be stopped before it's too late. So the question is, are there valuable insights to gain from experiments like this, or should they just be left alone?
Spread efficiently.
World leaders gathering in Davos, Switzerland this week are going to discuss Disease X, a hypothetical virus 20 times deadlier than COVID-19. COVID-19 has killed almost 7 million people worldwide. What would a virus 20 times deadlier be like, and is that a possibility that we could see in our lifetime?
It's definitely a possibility, because if you look at COVID-19 and compare it, for example, to the 1918 influenza pandemic, you can see that it is magnitudes less deadly than 1918. And there are strains of viruses that have very high mortality rates that could develop the ability to transmit efficiently from human to human. If we did so poorly with something like COVID-19, you can imagine how poorly we would do with something like a 1918 level event.
Do we know, and maybe this is one of the things they're trying to work out, but where a pathogen like that could originate from?
Likely these types of pathogens are going to be respiratory viruses, and they may be viruses that are circulating in certain animal species but are not able to transmit yet efficiently between humans. So that could be in bats, like COVID-19, it could be in birds, like bird flu, or it could be some other type of animal species, swine, for example. And it's really about that interface between humans and animals where interactions are occurring that these types of viruses get a foothold. Most of them will die out, but what we worry about is one that can spread efficiently.
World news coming out in the past 48 hours that the next pandemic is already on the way, and they're saying this is Disease X that could kill up to 50 million people. They're saying that the death toll could easily dwarf that of what we experience with COVID-19. Now, as I mentioned, this is just coming out in the past 48 hours, and in this video, I'm going to be covering for you what exactly Disease X is and all the details of what they're saying is going to be the next pandemic. Now, if you didn't already hear, take a look at this just in the past couple weeks. So this coming out September 18th of 2023, what to know about Nipah virus amid the outbreak in India. And we're hearing that there are lockdowns taking place due to this virus, and they're saying, don't worry, they believe they have it under control and contained. But here's the concerning issue with this disease. The virus has a fatality rate of 40 to 75%, according to the CDC. Nearly half of the people that contract this virus, they do not make it. And they're concerned, what if something like this were to outbreak on a global scale? And they're saying it's just a matter of time. Now, I'm going to be sharing with you these articles, putting them on the screen, reading right from them, linking them in the description. But right now, all you got to do is go onto Google and type in Disease X, and you will see tons of articles that have come out in the past 48 hours. You'll see this trending all over Google, and that is because in the past 48 hours, WHO and UK experts have warned that Disease X is essentially here, and we're expecting an outbreak that will be global, that will dwarf that of COVID-19. They're saying it will be a repeat and probably surpass that of the 1919 Spanish flu. So
not look like a traditional UFO, like a sphere or a saucer, but this shape has been seen since the beginning of UAP or UFOs. They call it the jellyfish UAP. It's in thermal. It was filmed on a weapons platform. You see that there's a dog there. You see the animals are black. I'm assuming this is black hot. You see the object just went to white, and you'll see it going from white to black, white to black. And that's basically showing the heat differential. So it's going like hot and cold, hot and cold. The problem was the optics platform was jammed. These individuals who target with these platforms, they can shoot out an Al-Qaeda tire at 27 miles away, but not being able to lock it was one of the first signs that something's weird. I was able to find direct eyewitnesses and corroborate that this event did happen. When individuals would target in on it with the optics, the way it was described, each of these hanging things, they were stiff, like they weren't moving. They had geometric form, like scales. What was said to be scales, like an armor. There were also people with night vision who were out and they were tasked to go look for it. Couldn't see it on the night vision. Only in the thermal spectrum could it be seen. But anything that looks like that appears to have a payload, that's a big deal. It could be dangerous, so these are high priority. But what happened is there were a couple other nations involved, and the feeds were just shut immediately. So that put me on high alert too. Why is it completely being shut down? But that's not all it did. It goes out over a body of water. I'm told it stops on a dime, descends into the water, stiff into the water. And for 17 minutes, nothing. And boom, this thing comes up out of the water and shoots off at 45 degrees, just like that. It looks very much like what I've heard that has made incursions into nuclear facilities, because I know for sure, fact of the matter, there is footage from inside a nuclear facility, and I'll just say it, Pantex, that's the one, man. Something that appears identical to this moves between these nuclear silos and shot off again at a 45-degree angle. What it is, I don't know, but now, when it goes over a body of water, I do have some footage of that. This is when that same object, a jellyfish UFO, goes out over this like, you can kind of get an idea by that distance now how far these optic systems can reach. When it gets to that point where it's over the water, every source that I have talked with who is aware of this footage, that footage exists. You've got a UFO or UAP descends into the water stiff, comes back up, and then shoots off 45 degrees. Now, this was taken by an intelligence agency and buried. So I don't know, man. These are the cases that spark me.
Bro, am I tripping? Bro, what the fuck?
Breaking news! Yup! In an astonishing discovery, scientists have identified what appears to be a potentially dystopian and dangerous futuristic society on a nearby planet. Recent news has raised concerns as NASA, utilizing the James Webb Telescope, detected light patterns resembling bright city lights on this distant celestial body. Speculations about the complexity and advancement of this potential extraterrestrial civilization have stirred fear among many. Proxima b, the designated planet in question, is now at the center of attention, with reports suggesting that these light patterns might be indicative of highly intelligent extraterrestrial life. Some experts believe that this discovery marks the first tangible evidence of intelligent life beyond our planet, and what's more unsettling is that Proxima b is relatively close to Earth. The possibility that this civilization may be observing use has added an extra layer of apprehension to this extraordinary revelation.
I think I might have just scientifically proven the firmament and potentially the flat Earth. As you may know, there's a lot of oxygen up there. In fact, the ozone layer is made up of O3 molecules. That's oxygen triple bonded to itself. Did you know that oxygen freezes at about negative 350 degrees Fahrenheit? Did you know that when it freezes, it turns a sky blue color? And did you know that outer space is negative 450 degrees Fahrenheit? If everything I just said was true, then the very upper levels of our atmosphere that come in contact with space would be frozen oxygen. And right below that layer of frozen oxygen would be the waters above, liquid oxygen. And why would it stay up there? Because whenever it got warm, it would just become a gas and float back up. There's your firmament, folks, and the waters above. Science approved.